Okay. Really what I want to just talk about, more about industry specific, is I have spent a lot of time within the mining industry, lots of different roles, but now looking after labs, worked a little bit in the lab as well. But for me, I want to look at how do we actually elevate labs within the mining value chain. Just because I see labs as the poorer cousin a bit to some of the other functions within the mining value chain. So really want to just have a bit of a roundtable discussion and maybe continue over drinks on how we start doing that. Because I guess at the end of the day, how do we get bigger budgets for you guys out there, right? So, because when you have a look at labs sometimes on a site, it's just a shed down the back, stuff goes in, numbers come out. People don't actually see all the hard work and dedication that goes on inside, right? So it's just how do we start educating the broader teams on mine sites. So a little bit more about myself there. So was in Indonesia a couple of weeks ago. So there's the batik arty. So, when in Rome, do as Romans do. So, we've got some batik shirts. This was a Friday as well. So, Friday's a bit more formal. Batik's a very formal shirt in Bali. So, felt good doing business like that. So there's a team there. That's our Indonesian team as well. Like I said, I've been in mining for 25 years. I started off as a geo, quality safe environment coordinator, a lot of production roles. So probably was one of those angry people asking for my results at some stage. Where is it? Supply chain as well and rehabilitation. So really across a value chain. So I got a good understanding of, I guess, where the results matter and, how it actually drives business decisions. So I sort of generated this Venn diagram just to look at how we can start educating other functions in the mining industry. So, I really see labs is what holds everything together. So, you've got geology, mining, processing. So you sort of see, resource modelling, mine scheduling, customer specs, market demand. Really is a link between foundation of the functions. And it's said there, it's the foundation for quality database decisions. And that's what everyone's trying to get to now. How do we make more decisions with better data? Where does a lot of data come from, particularly quality? It comes from the lab. So how do we bring that up? So the lab's the provider of the data that's, trusted, hopefully timely, accurate and controlled as well. So this is something that we're going to start utilising more, I guess, when we're talking with the industry as well. Again, just go, well, how do we bump this team up a bit? And I guess from what I'm hearing today, it should actually be, what if lab is more poorly resourced, not poorly resourced, right? And I guess being the mining industry, very much risk adverse, talk more about risk, not necessarily upside. So that's where I looked at this. Because if you looked at upside, there's a lot of upside, but just the way mining mentality works, it's more about risk focus, what bad things can happen and how do we control that, as opposed to what good things can happen and how do we move on. So, even from exploration, you might miss a target, right? Geology, uncertain model, mine planning, you might be mining waste. Then you get to production, your grades are out, you might be using more reagents. Sales, you might be sending out a spec material poorly timed, but end of the day, you got the market there. And, if they don't get the right product at the right time, there might be fines coming back to the company or penalties, reputational damage, you name it. So end of the day, mining companies there, we're trying to meet the market demands, what they want. So it's how do we minimise that risk of any of those issues there? And I guess the middle there, the lab, that's just, I guess, a potential sequence of activities that happens in the lab. I guess the complexity there, in each of those stages, will flick information in and out from the lab. So for me, it's just how do we, I guess, get the other functions to understand the process of what needs to happen to get good results out. And then, what is the risk if the data is late or isn't precise or accurate? And as I said before, if it's done properly, you can save millions in OPEX, but then also you can potentially make millions in revenue as well if you get it right. And so I guess a bit of a tool we're trying to pull together is just a visual demonstration of what could be a good or bad scenario. depending on the data that's used to make a decision. And so this is just gives you a cumulative cost per tonne through a mining value chain. And this is something we're looking at generating, so we can use it for different mining methods or different resources as well. Just so when we are talking to a client, if you can say, if there's a bad decision, what might be the risk that comes up? Because at the end of the day, you've got this cost variance at the end. Okay, there's your budget you might be able to save or make. So when you're talking to, the ops guys always seem to have a lot of cash. How do we get some of that back into the lab? So an example I got when I was talking to someone in Indonesia who used to work at Barrick, and he was having some problems with his XRF, and ringing up maintenance, can you come and give it a service? And there was no action at all. And then eventually the XRF failed, and then the processing team ring up, where are my results? They said, oh, well, the XRF's broken. When can I expect them? Well, not anytime soon. And in 2 minutes, the maintenance team were there to fix the XRF. So, and then a few weeks later, you actually had 2 brand new ones as well as backup. So understanding the importance of the data, the value of it, and so how do we bring that up to the fore more? So it's not, we don't have to wait for things to fall over till they get recognised as being important. So it's about education within in the industry, really. And so this is just something you're trying to work on to elevate that up a bit, just so people see that cost profile of good or bad data. Okay, so really to wrap up my chat is we ran a quick global survey the other month just to understand or get some more insights into the industry from a laboratory perspective. Because we can make assumptions, but it's always good to get customer feedback or industry feedback. And so there's just a bit of a breakdown of where we've got some responses from, mainly from Africa and Oceania. And there's probably nothing I'm going to show you in this survey that we probably haven't spoke about today, really. But I guess confounds that everyone's having the same problem. So what can we do about it? So here's, where's your main area that your lab can improve, equipment upgrades, and then advanced data management. And I guess some of this we really need to drill down a bit more, because what are they talking about when we say advanced data management? Is it AI? Is there anything else in that space you can think of? Equipment. So what do you think you might be procuring coming up or need to be integrated? That sort of stuff that we would like to know as well. So if we need to redesign our products for upcoming equipment, what do we do? Tech opportunities. Implementing new equipment. That might be photon assay, software. Okay, we can have a chat after this. Integrating emerging technologies. Again, understanding what that is. But probably this is probably the key one that's been spoken about a lot. Just how to boost your team. See that enhancing skill levels and expanding training programs, and that sort of just reaffirms while we're trying to look at how do we look at putting some programs together to help bring some more people in the industry. And I guess also we need to understand, do they need to be uni qualified or just vocational? What sort of training do they need? So it's understanding what sort of level that we need into the industry as well, just so we can keep the industry moving along. And that's me. So I guess overall, my position is just how do we, I'd like to work out how to elevate the position of labs within the mining industry and that mining value chain. Because I guess, I've been in production roles, geology and stuff like that, and, the budgets are generally higher. Again, labs are the poorer cousin, so I can't see why, because most of the data comes out. The geo can't do anything unless they've got decent information they can put in the model. Mine planning, processing as well. Which way do they turn the knob, up or down? Don't know, haven't got the data. So again, it's just how do we just elevate that, I guess, the position. So that's my goal over the next year or so, and that's where these sort of events come into the fore as well, that getting the industry together to chat and network and then work out how do we advocate for our roles within the mining value chain. So thank you.